Okay, so we'll begin with the wafer paper lily. So for you to understand what flower we are actually aiming at working on is this one. And it's such a pretty flower which went so well with a cake that I had posted along with this. Of course, it's a stargazer lily, but then the technique on how do you bend it in this shape and the color that you can get just in one part of the wafer paper and then the black dots. All of it is like a pretty interesting technique. When obviously using this technique, you can work on so many other flowers. And we'll also be doing another simple flower. Bougainvillea is that paper flower in real, and there is a center on the actual flower, but when it is all closed and you have quite a few together, it kind of looks like this. So you can make it without the center as well. I'll be showing these petals and without the center, right? So we have the wafer paper here. Okay, and that's the 0 grade paper, which is a thin one. You don't get the thick one. The thick ones are used for printing, edible prints. Okay. Now, I also have like a foam pad with me here. And this is the cutter that I'll be using. If you don't have a cutter of this shape, for different sizes, obviously, you have a few different sizes. Okay. I'm going to use a bigger one. Obviously, it could be like a lotus cutter or lily cutter. Or if you don't have a wafer paper, you naturally don't need a cutter. You can just use template, which means you can print it out from Google and you can cut out a paper template. So what I'm going to do, this is an OHP sheet, a transparent sheet, and I'm just going to place that over and place this cutter and use a marker. I'm just going to outline. Then once I have the outline of the cutter, I'll use the scissors and then cut through on the outline. So first, let me just cut through a portion of it, and I have it with me here. Let me just show it here. Okay. So I'm just going to go around. So that will be the template which I will create using OHP sheet or a chart paper or anything that you think is suitable for making your own template. So wafer paper flowers, we just need a template that is just cut. Okay, so I have it here. And the next thing is I need to cut the wafer papers in the same shape as my template. Now, I'll just hold this template here on one side and cut through an entire strip for that particular size. Once that is done, then I will cut through here without too much wastage. And for the same size, I'll keep that one cut wafer paper as a guideline. So I have now 3 of it. Okay. So now I will hold the 3 together. And I'll cut all the 3 of the wafer paper to the shape of this template. Okay, so now I have 3 of the petals cut together. For this particular flower, you guys need 6 petals. Now I'm going to make 1 petal to show you how to get the shape, do the coloring of that one particular petal. Similarly, you will be making 6 of them to complete that one flower. Okay, so now I have the petal with me. There is a rough side and then there is a smooth side as well. You could use the smooth end, for which for all the petals you have to stick to using the smooth side. Now, floral wires. If you're new to making flowers, obviously the floral wires come like this, and that is the full length of the wire. And for this particular flower, I could be using, so there are different thicknesses for the wires, and the numbers vary between like say 14 gauge to about 32 gauge. So it is in the even numbers. 14, 16, 18, and the number is small, the thickness is more. 32 is like very, very thin, which can be used for like tiny filler flowers. This is a 26 gauge wire. So you can see it is like quite bendable and not too difficult to bend. A 26G is what I will use. You will use scissors and then cut them into smaller sizes. So I have the wires of this length with me. I just need one wire. Okay. And I also will be needing a strip. Now what I'm going to do, place this wire here, and then I need like a strip to go on top to cover that wire. I have to wire this particular petal, for which this excess that was there, which I had cut using the template, right? I will use the same by not wasting it. So now this rectangular strip is what I need, that I will just place on top to stick. So now I have the strip ready, I have the wire ready, I have the wafer paper petal also ready. Now the next thing that I will need is wafer paper portion, and that is a mix of glycerin with water, and the recipe for that is given to you in your document, and that is a colorless liquid for now. Now to color this, we use gel colors, or liquid colors also work. Okay, so what I have here is Magic Colors Spectral Pink. So any gel color will work for that matter. Now this is already colored for me, but colorless wafer paper portion, you just need to color by adding a few drops of what I'm using right now here is the Magic Colors Spectrum Pink. Now when you add the gel colors into the portion, the entire portion comes down to that specific color. Now, how much is the intensity of the color that you need? You need to test that. And this is already tested, because for this particular pink of the Stargazer Lily and the Bougainvillea is like quite deep. Now into this, I have added the pink gel. Now let me just brush through and then check if it is enough. So that is the color that I need. And if I need darker than this, I will be adding more color into this portion itself. But you can see the Bougainvillea's color is like quite dark than the one that I had used for the Stargazer Lily center. Now this color is like quite nice for me to go on for the center of the Stargazer Lily. So now you've colored the portion and you have that also. So we're just preparing before we move on to setting up one particular petal. So portion is ready. You need a brush for that. And an important thing you need is corn flour, a bowl of corn flour, and then a makeup brush. Okay, so that is also another important thing that you need. I'll tell you why. So I'm just going to keep these things with me. And now the wafer paper is like quite stiff, right? It is quite stiff. Now, how are we going to make it get that curve? You want that Stargazer Lily to curve like this, right? You want it to be curved like that. Now, how is it now if I bend it like that and then leave it out? It will just go back to its place. Now, I need something which I can just have, hold it, and let the petal take the shape like that. And it should stay there for some time. So to have the shape of the petal, what I need is a rolling pin, and that I'm just placing there. Now, the moment I added water, you can see the portion where I added water is like gotten quite sticky, like so. Okay, it will also tear up if it is not handled properly. But this part is like quite fine. But the place where there was moisture, you can see it is just tearing up, right? So we'll just try to avoid all that and then have the petal come out well. Now, we have everything ready. You have the corn flour and the makeup brush also ready. So, we need a clear portion also. Clear portion. I'll just wait for a clear portion because on the center we need the pink, and then on the sides we will be using the colorless portion. What is the size? That edge to edge. Level. So I have the colorless portion as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place the petal on this foam pad. I'm going to brush the colorless portion all through the petal. Place the wire, apply some more portion, attach the strip top, top. So the strip is also stuck now, and now I'm just going to go to the pink and paint it only in the middle. Now after I'm done painting, I will immediately use the corn flour, dip it into the corn flour, the makeup brush, dust off the excess, and I will go dust the corn flour over the petal into which I have brushed the portion, which is the liquid. I will now gently dust off the excess corn flour, okay, and I will gently peel this out of the matte sides. Okay, so you have this beautiful petal come out with a center in the light pink color. The back is not done yet. I'm going to place this down. I will dust some corn flour because the petal is already yet. Dust some corn flour, place it down. Use a colorless on the edge and use the pink just in the middle. Do the corn flour dusting removing excess. And remove the excess out. And gently take. Now, once this portion is applied and then corn flour dusted, you can see how cloth-like this petal has become. The original look and feel of the wafer paper is this. It won't bend, but then this, you see, it is just quite bending and then just became so soft, right? So now this at the stage is ready for taking the shape. So now moving all this aside and into this rolling pin, I'm just going to place this down. And here you can see the wire is like quite stiff. I'll hold and bend the wire a little bit. That's it. Now this is going to take the necessary shape that is needed for my stargazer lily. So I will have to be making 5 more like that. And once we have 6 petals, we will be having all the petals that is needed for lily. Now, once this is dried, what I have, instead of waiting and showing you like all the 5, I have them pre-made. So it is easier to just continue and teach you how to finish this out. Now this, once it is dried, that is going to need about say like 2 hours or so. And this is going to look like this. It is quite stiff and the shape is just right. Okay, so it has just taken the shape, but you can, it is not going to break. You can just manipulate the shape a little bit more, but then it is going to hold like that. Okay, now let me just set this aside and I'm going to dust or paint the black dots. Now for the stargazer lily, the petal is going to be like this with black dots, and that I'm just going to paint and show. So I'm just going to show the flower again so you understand what is it going to look like. So this is 1 petal, you need 6 of them exactly similar. I have the black gel here and a very thin brush. So in the black gel, I'm not going to, because you don't want it like too runny, I'm not going to add any vodka or any liquid into this. I'm just going to go and then start adding the dot. Just hold the petal. Just not in like symmetrical lines, but in the pink area, random dots. Okay, it is as simple as that. Just gel color with a tiny brush and then painted it out for the petal. Now I have the 6 petals already made, but when you just look at the center, you know that there is a center like that. Okay, and we also have other 6 stamens. So that's the ovary in the center, and then we have the 6 stamens which we need to make. So they are already made, but I'm going to make and show you. So this is the stamen which you need 6 numbers like that. Okay, it is a rice-like thing in pink on the top, and then the stalk is green for that in a wire. I'm going to make that and show. And that I said is a stamen, right? And this is the ovary, which will be the center. And this also has like a 3 face on the top, which I will make and show now. So you need the similar wire. I have gum paste in the colors of green and pink. You can also do it in white and then just dust them with petal dust also. So I'm just going to take a tiny portion of green gum paste. First, I will make the ovary. So I'm just going to make a ball with that green. And to this, I'm going to bend the wire and make a hook like so. Okay. And I'm just going to drop this green ball in and press it down here. Keep a ball on the top and slowly just get this down. Keep the stalk thin and smooth it out. And then for the top, the 3 head, right, I'm just going to gently create the dents using a craft knife, or even a Dresden tool will work. I'm just pressing it down. So you create the ovary like that. And this, if you're making in gum paste, you just want it to dry. But the one that I have already made is dried, which I will be using it for taping now. Now again, for the stamens that I said is quite simple again, which has a pink rice-like stalk and a green stalk. I'll just need a little bit of the green gum paste, and I'm just going to hold it with a wire. Just make it quite thin. Obviously, it needs to, if there is excess on the top, we could just remove that. Okay, so a green stalk like that, and a bit of pink. A little bit of pink, because it's just a tiny rice-like top, a pink gum paste. I'm just going to roll it, okay, and just checking if it is too big. If it is too big, I will just reduce the size. I'm discarding some portion. I'm making that ball smaller. First, make a ball like that, and with your finger, a rice-like shape is there, okay. So to this tip, you can use edible glue, but right now any moisture would work. The colorless portion, I'm just going to dip the top, and I'm going to press it here on this rice shape, and that's going to stick. Okay, so I could just bend a little bit, giving it some movement. Okay, so that will be, and also just for a bit of movement, you can bend it a bit and not keep it like too straight. Okay, so you need 6 of these. You can see it here in the black. Yes, right? So you need 6 of these stamens, 1 ovary, and 6 petals, and we will be ready for taping. Okay, so I have the tape with me, and I'm just going to keep everything that is needed for taping the lily. Six of the petals. Six ovaries, and then, 6 stamens, and then there is 1 ovary. So because the center is the first thing that we need to start with, that's the floral wire if you're seeing it for the first time. And I'm just going to cut it out. Let me show you how to work with it. Cut up a portion. Okay, and this starts working as you stretch. So you should be able to stretch the floral tape. I'm going to start with the ovary. I'm going to hold the height so much, and then start with a tape from under the wire of this ovary and go around and then turn the tape as much that it will just stick there, and I will hold between these two fingers and then stretch so it is just attached properly. So the tape is nicely attached. Now the stamens, I'm just going to bend it a little bit, and the stamens will be a little taller than the ovary for the stargazer lily. So I will be adding them one after the other and not put all the 6 together. And that way there is more stability. Just make sure the height is the same. For each of them, I'll go around. Now all 6 is taped around. I'm just bending it a little bit to give some movement. Okay, so it looks like that right now. I will start with the petals. So the petals have been drying out like that. So I just want to show how it would be drying out. Now for taping, I just want to bend the wire. So I will be able to attach it to the side. So you need to bend it. So this wire of this petal goes in line with the center, all the center that we've been holding it together. Okay, so you will place the petal there and then tape it around. For every petal, I'll just go 1 round. So I'll show it again. The wire is like so, right? The wire is like this here. You need to completely bend this wire down. And only then you will be able to go and place it in line with this center. And here you can later on move it up or bring it down. So you could move it up or bring it down depending on how you want it. Go around the wire and bending it, placing it in line with this, positioning also. Fourth one, bend this wire, place it here. Fifth, and then there is one more last one pending. So check how I'm bending it. Sure, you're able to see. So the petal is like this. The bending is like completely bringing this down like that. Only if you do that, this can be attached together with the center. That's what I was doing to all the petals. Taping the last petal also down. So now I can just do some adjustments. Okay, and here you will have all the wires and you will tape all of them down. hold all the wires together and twist and get down, and then you're done taping. So you have the beautiful stargazer lily made out of wafer paper, nicely painted. It has the ovaries, the stamens, and everything put together, a beautiful stargazer lily, right? Any doubts? Is there? Doubts? No? So I'll just check for the doubts, and in the meantime, I will show the exactly similar process for Bougainvillea as well. Size of the paper, I said it is a thin paper. You can just ask for the one that is for flower making. See, it's a grade 0. It is also available on Amazon. But then the baking supplies stores, they will know which is for flower making, which is for printing. You will get the one for flower making. You just tell them you need a thin one. Yes. All clear? Right. So for Bougainvillea, you can look at the, see, this is basically a rose cutter. But then if you use the petal in this direction with a wider facing up, then it will be for rose. You can use any leaf cutter also for Bougainvillea because it is just in the shape of a leaf. But then I'm going to use a rose cutter facing this side with a sharp side upwards. So it's exactly same step. I could repeat as I do, but it is a not as complicated or not as advanced as the lily that we did. But I just want to show you could use wafer papers and then make some simple flowers as well. So now template is cut. You can just do the revision as I'm doing it because it was exact same step that we did for the stargazer lily as well. So the template is here. Cut the template. So what will be the next step? If you can quickly type it down, then I'll check if you've been following on the lily part. Template is there. Then the next one would be cutting up the wafer paper itself. So we are cutting down the petals. So depending on how many petals you want, you will cut through by holding it on one side of the wafer paper and just get the size of that petal of how much on the side and then the entire size you want. As you cut through, you have like 4 in this, but obviously for one flower you need 3. But if you're going to make more, you can just keep like, say, maximum of 4 wafer papers, one on top will be fine for you to cut together. Like don't hold like 10 sheets and then cut because the cut is not going to be clean. Three with me. Okay, so now you need the foam pad, you need the petal. What else would you need? No one wants to type out the answer. You need a strip because you want to wire this, right? So I'm cutting out a strip. And then what do you want? A wire because you want to attach that wire. And then corn flour because immediately after putting the portion, you want the corn flour and the makeup brush to dust it out. Okay. And for this, I have like a completely concentrated color. And again, I have used the Magic Colors spectrum for that, which is like more of it. So for Stargazer Lily also, it was the same. And now for this entire petal, we'll be using this concentrated color. Just paint through that wire. Strip on top and then paint the colored portion on the strip as well. Then write immediately corn flour, but dust the excess out and go on the petal. Dust corn flour and dust off the excess. Just sweep out the excess. And gently open out. It comes out actually beautifully. But if it sticks, just make sure this foam pad is having enough corn flour. Maybe if it gets stuck, then brush some corn flour and then go on to the other side as well. Too much liquid also may tear up. Just dust off excess. Dust the excess outside somewhere and then come with a little bit of corn flour over the portion applied wafer paper. So you don't have like too much dust going on top of this petal. And just broom or brush off the excess corn flour and gently remove. So you have like this extremely soft bougainvillea petals or one petal we've made. You need to be making as many. And then you have this flower shapers. So you can just place it because you just wanted to take any random shape because each petal will be like quite a bit unique. So you can just place it there like so and then allow it to take a bit of random shape. Now, again, like I said, it is going to take like an hour or like 2, after which the petals will be quite dried like I have here. Now, all these 3 taped together will have your bougainvillea. So let me just finish up the taping as well. So we'll have 2 of our wafer paper flowers made. Now, you can think through your doubts of your wafer paper flower and then let me know so I could just clarify them. Now, again, because these are just 3, I'm going to bend, hold the 3 together and then tape it down. Could do a bit of overlap as well. Okay, once I like how the 3 petals together look, holding it tight at the bottom and going below, hold all 3 together, tape, and then I'm just stretching it here. So the taping is quite tight at the base and bringing it all the way down. So it's a simple flower, but then like quite a few come in handy if we need like pillar flowers on the cake. So there are 2 bougainvilleas. One was already made and the stargazer lily as well. There are 2 of them. So obviously these flowers are too good on the cake, which we will actually be using it when we are assembling. So the wafer paper flowers are done.